Is it your first time going to Download Festival? Where on earth do you start? Well, stick around and all will be revealed. What's up, dudes? I'm back with another video. Today we are going to be taking a chronological journey through everything Download Festival, from the very first second you need to think about packing, getting ready, right until the last minute of aftercare when you're laying on the sofa. Now this is perfect for anyone that is a beginner for the festival, or if you just, you love the festival already, you've been, and you just want to take this journey with me, through all the steps just to get really excited about the festival, which is happening very, very soon. So let's do this. So what is Download Festival? Download Festival is an alternative music festival started by Andy Copping in 2003. It hosts all sort of alternative bands, from your heaviest, most disgusting metal all the way up to your most alternative pop music. So where is Download? Download is held on the Donington Park racing circuit. It's been on the grounds ever since it started in 2003. It has moved around a fair bit, changed sides, but ultimately it's still there to this day. Why should you be excited about going to Download? Well, it's a place to let loose, to let your hair down, and most importantly, just to be yourself. Enjoy music with a lot of like-minded people, make new friends, and just have the absolute best time over the space of 5 days. Now, preparation, what you are doing before the festival. Now, I highly recommend, especially packing wise, watching YouTube videos, not just mine. There are tons of great videos out there that loads of other YouTubers have done with what to pack, what they're packing. You can also use that to make your own lists. I always compile a list every year. Even though I've been 16 times, I always want to tick off that list and make sure that I've got everything. You can have that on your phone. Some people prefer actual physical lists, but whichever way you want to do it, it's a great way. Just remember, you're not missing anything. I'd say get the Download app is another thing I would recommend. It's been really good over the last few years. You can favorite all your bands, get your own sort of set list going so you can see who's playing when and where, who you're going to miss, who you're going to see. And also now it's included your ticket in there as well. So I think you can link that to your Ticketmaster and have your ticket and all of your bands all in one place. It really is a great resource. I'm not going to knock it. I know it does have its problems occasionally, especially when it comes to the map, but I do think it's definitely an essential to get. What to do the morning of Download. Now, this one leaks into the last bit as well, preparation. Just make sure that when it comes to travel, you're all planned, you know what you're doing. If you're driving, you know what the routes are, you've planned out how long it's going to take you to get there, if you're going to be an early bird, or if you're going to be someone that's getting there on the Friday, obviously just for the band days. Just make sure you've planned your routes and you know what you're doing. I have done Download on the train and on the coach as well. So again, just make sure if coming from any of the big cities, you know where you're going, you know what time you're going to get to the train station or to the coach station. Make sure you're on time, you know where you are, you leave enough in case anything happens. I have been running for the bus for Download before, and it was not a nice experience getting on there absolutely sweating, carrying all my Download stuff. So yeah, just make sure travel wise you're nice and prepared so you can take it nice and easy and just have the best time getting there. Make sure you have everything before you leave. Double check, triple check. I've done it before where I've left the house and then you get to Download and then you think, oh God, I've left that one thing on the side or in a bag that you didn't take with you. So I know you're all excited, the adrenaline's pumping, but just double, triple check. Like I said before, even if they go through that list and just tick everything off just to make sure you have it all there. You don't want to get to your campsite and be like, oh my God, I've forgotten a very important thing. So double check, triple check, quadruple check, whatever you have to do to just make sure that you have everything. Make sure you pack efficiently. So for travel is what I mean. So if you've got a car, for instance, make sure you pack that car efficiently. Make sure you got all your stuff in it in the right order of how you're going to take it out. There are loads of people that are much better at doing that than I am, so I'm not going to preach too much, but it is always better when you take time to properly organize it. If you're going obviously on the coach and or the train, you're not going to be able to take as much stuff with you, so just make sure you're efficiently packed with everything that you need, but make sure it's easy to carry, and trust me, it will make your journey a lot easier. Carrying on from that, of course, traveling to the festival. Now, one of the things, obviously, I'm sure all you guys do, but one thing that you should always do is have a good playlist on the go. So if you're riding solo and you've got your headphones in, make sure you've got all the download bands or, you know, whatever you want to rock out to in that morning to get you pumped. If you're in the car with other people, I always make like a traveling to download playlist that puts songs on there that just get us absolutely pumped to go. Now, one of my biggest recommendations, whatever mode of transport you're taking, would be a great meeting space for you and your friends. If you're going solo, you're going solo, so you just want to get to the festival. But if you are meeting with people, especially if you're driving, what I would recommend is going to like a service station that's close by to download, meeting up there, maybe doing a convoy run, although sometimes that doesn't work because people go off and do it whatever they want to do. But what I would say is if you're in a big group of friends, just make sure you plan where you're going to meet up travel wise, if you're all going to get there at similar times, so you can all go in together and get your camping spots. The next step will be getting your wristband. So once you've got all your mates together, you're going to want to head to one of the download entrances. They'll be littered throughout the site, obviously depending where you're coming from. There you'll be asked to show your electronic ticket and you will be getting your wristband. Now, depending on how many days you're going for, what packages you've got, or if you're just in general camping, you will get a wristband for whatever your ticket says. You will need to keep that on for the entire weekend. That should get you into the arena and the level of camping that you've paid for. Just think of this whole day as a whole as a giant setup day. You know, you're going to get settled, you're going to get all your stuff together, going to get everything sorted. So just enjoy the process, you know, enjoy everything from the car to your campsite and back again, no matter how many times you're going to do it, because it's all good fun. So setting up your camp. I've been asked before which campsites you should go to. I mean, really you should be looking at the map. You know, some people really don't mind walking all the way across the other side of the map if they've got friends over that side. Most people will go to the ones that are closest to them. So if you come in, you know, the north car park, the south car park, or the west car park, it really depends on which campsites are close to you and which areas and where your friends want to go. You know, most people will just see an open space and head for that. So most people don't really care which campsite they're in necessarily. We do get nerds like me that want to be in the same place every year. A recommendation would be always walk further up. I think people actually see that the campsites are quite full and they try and squeeze into places, rather than if you just normally continue walking further up the campsite, you'd actually see that there's more space on the other side. It's a bit different if you're turning up on the Friday when the campsites have been full for a couple of days, because then you probably will have to squeeze your tent in somewhere where there is space, maybe not this year. But yeah, I would say just keep on walking, keep on going to the end, and there probably will be space at the end if you're arriving on a Wednesday. If there's a big bunch of you guys, I would say set up in a circle so you can sort of have your own little bit of space to yourselves. You don't want to make that circle too big. We've made that mistake before in our group of friends, and you end up with loads of tents in the middle of all of your tents. So, you know, download is about meeting people and making new friends, but it is nice just to have your own little secluded area sometimes that you and your friends can just chill in if you want to. You know, you don't necessarily want the company of others. So what to do when you're there? I would say the main thing would be just explore the place, you know, walk around. You know, I try not to sit at the campsite too much. That is nice when you just want to chill with your mates and have a few drinks, but there is so much to see at Download now. They really have tried to make it, you know, an experience for you. So I would say, you know, go to District X, which is their big, obviously, like entertainment section of Download. You know, go to the doghouse and listen to some tunes and rock out a bit. Go and experience all the amazing food that Download has within that section and within the campsites as well. So many great food vendors you can try. You know, you could eat a different type of meal, literally for every single meal throughout the day if you've got enough money. The shops are great as well. We'll talk about the arena in a little bit because that also has some shops in it. But, you know, there's lots of crazy sunglasses, hats, all sorts of crazy stuff that you see at these stalls. It is just worth exploring Download. Some of my most fond memories are just literally grabbing some beers with mates and just walking, finding whatever we can. You know, you don't always remember all the stuff that download lists that say they've got to download. So walk around, explore would be my greatest tip to a first timer or anyone that just wants to see the festival in a different light, not sat at their tent. Go explore. I guarantee you, you will have an amazing time. So let's talk about the arena. So the arena is the section of the festival which will host all the bands and music throughout the day. I guarantee you when you first walk in the first time, it blows my mind now, even just walking in there, seeing the scale, the amount of people, and just being in the greatest place ever. So hopefully it does that for you as well. You know, it's goosebump territory, it really is. But Download has 4 amazing stages. So the Dogtooth stage houses the smaller bands, the sort of up and coming bands. The headliners can be, you know, medium to quite big bands, so it is a great atmosphere in there. But I found myself on the Dogtooth stage quite a lot over the last few years because I'm really into those sort of up and coming bands. The third stage is the Avalanche stage. So again, sort of earlier in the day, you will have up and coming acts, but that stage is mostly meant for sort of pop punk and alternative bands. You don't get too many heavy bands playing in there. I mean, it's a great tent. It's absolutely huge. You're going to love it. The Opus stage, or the second stage as it used to be known, so the second biggest stage, is a great one too. There will be some massive bands on that stage. I think that is bigger than most festivals' main stages. So I think you say second stage, but when you actually see it and you see the amount of people you can get there, I mean, it is very big. So great. I love the second stage, probably one of my favorites. And then we have the Apex stage, the big, massive main stage. You know, when you're stood next to that thing, it is absolutely giant. It is just a massive monument to rock and metal. It's absolutely fantastic. So that's where you'll see all the massive giant acts of the day. That will be one of the first things you see when you walk literally in through the metaphorical Download door. And yeah, you're going to love every second of seeing that. It's just the best. So the arena is where it all happens all throughout the day. It's going to be where you're jogging back and forth to stages, watching all your bands. So you've done your festival, you know, you've been to the arena for 3 days, you've partied your absolute butts off, and now you've got to leave. My massive recommendation for first timers would be just take your time leaving. You know, I try and pack up my stuff a little bit the day before, just so I don't have to do so much on the Monday, because I always leave on the Monday morning. Those leaving on Sunday night, obviously you'd have to pack through the Sunday. But I would say just take your time, take it easy, you know, pack all your stuff nice and easy. Take it out the tent, you know, just if it's a nice weather year, try and just enjoy the weather, relax a little bit. I'm like in recovery mode already by this point, so putting my tent up is probably 3 times slower than when I first put it up and I was excited and full of adrenaline. So yeah, just relax, take a deep breath, you know, just absorb what you can remember from the weekend, get your stuff packed away, and then take it nice and easy to the car. Now, some people do trips where they, over the last few days, they sort of take things back to the car. So that last big trip isn't the reverse of taking all your stuff from the car at once to the campsite. So yeah, on the Sunday, I might take a couple of bags back, then come back, watch all the bands and everything, and then obviously Monday morning go with a smaller load to the car. So that would be a recommendation. Take your time. Try and plan it well. Believe me, the last thing you want to be doing after 5 days at Download is lugging absolutely everything back to your car. And finally, you know, you're at home, the festival's over. What the hell do you do to recover? Just chill, man. You know, I know some people go back to work like the day after Download. I have done that before. It's horrible because you are literally dying at work, you know, sitting there just like, I feel every single one of those 5 days. But if you can, you know, drink plenty of water, especially if you've been drinking the whole time. I am literally like a fish after Download, just water bottle after water bottle. You know, take some multivitamins, have some Barocca, eat well, because, you know, some people at download, they don't eat very well, they don't get any vitamins. You know, if it's a good year, they're in the sun the whole time, or they're in the wet the whole time. A lot of people get sick after download because it's such an extreme sort of weight and pressure on your body. So yeah, if you get home from download and you are sick, you know, that can happen if you've put your body through hell for the last 5 days. So you've got no one else to blame but yourself. But if you've got some good memories and you've had a good time, it's totally worth it. So yeah, just say try and take a load off if you can. I always try and take 2, maybe 3 days off of work after download, because I need time to recover these days. Before I could just snap back, not anymore. So yeah, chill, get your waters in, get all your nutrients, you know, eat properly, and just have a great time reminiscing. Try not to get the download blues so much, but there's always next year. Yeah, so there you go, guys. That was just sort of a general overview of, you know, for a beginner, what download is, what you should do when you get there, just a general sort of chronological layout of what happens. If you want more detail than this, of course, I've got a packing video coming out next week. You know, I've done what to bring, your essentials, talked about the bands. So if there's anything you want to know that's more detailed in this video, just go and look through all of the other stuff that I've been doing recently as we're gearing up to download. There'll be a map video coming soon as well, with all of the little bits about District X and the food vendors and all that sort of stuff. So any other details, just come back to this channel. Don't worry, I have it all for you. But it was fun to make this video, and just, you know, every single one I make now is just getting me so unbelievably pumped. Like, it's so close. And like I've said before, I haven't needed a download festival this much in a long time, so I am going to thoroughly enjoy myself. Thank you very much to my patrons that have been on the screen. I love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. It really does mean a lot. To everyone else, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I mean, you know, I'm still just blown away by the amount of people that watch this channel and that have subscribed, but there could always be more. So if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, please just click the button. It takes 2 seconds and I would massively appreciate it. So, as always, I shall see you dudes in the next video. You should go and subscribe to my channel, just because. Come on, subscribe.